Hey, book friends, welcome back to Books I Read. I'm Sheila and I'm so glad you're here. We're going to do some bookish things here. Obviously, it's a book channel. Actually, we're going to do another buddy video read or buddy virtual read. We are going to do friend request. Why do I keep wanting to say that weird? I don't know. But we are going to do this book by Laura Marshall. And this book is about two friends. Well, there's other friends, but two main friends, I guess you could say, two or three. But anyway, we have Louise, we have Maria, and we have, what's her name? Stephanie? Sophie? What is it? Sophie. Okay, basically the synopsis says that is Maria Weston dead because she has sent a friend request to Louise. But isn't she dead? Hasn't she been dead for quite some time? What's the catch? So we're going to go ahead and we are going to start this book. And I'm going to do this one just a little different. We are going to read the first 11 chapters. And our page 1 to 95. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do chapters 1 to 11, and then we'll come back and we will talk about it. You guys will tell me what you think about chapters 1 to 11 in the comments below. Everything will be time stamped, and alrighty, welcome back. We are going to be talking about chapters 1 to 11 in friend request. Alright, so this book goes back and forth. You're jumping from 2016 and our current times, and then you're jumping back in the past to 1989 with Louise. Alright, so the first chapter starts off in 2016. Louise is sitting at her computer and she gets a friend request on Facebook, and it's from an old friend, Maria, that is supposed to be dead. So who's behind all of this? What do you guys think? Do you have any thoughts from chapter 1? No, me neither. I didn't get too many thoughts from chapter 1. Then we go into chapter 2 and it's 1989. We flash back to the past. Basically when Maria first came to Louise's school, and Louise and Sophie are really good friends. They're like best buddies, sort of, kind of. I kind of feel like Sophie just used Louise. What do you guys think? Do you think Sophie was just using her, or what? Jealous of her? What? I think, well, let's talk about it. Let's keep going. Then chapter 3 jumps back to current times, and there's what do you call it? An invitation to the high school reunion, to Louise's high school reunion. And she sees Sophie on there that she hasn't talked to in a very long time. So she friend requests Sophie and asks her if she would like to get a drink before this reunion thing. Sophie says, sure, come on over to my place. So Louise grabs her stuff, gets a babysitter, because Louise was married to Sam, which was another close friend of Sophie's and hers, as well as Matt, when they were in school. But not Sophie. Louise had married Sam, okay, and had a child named Henry. But anyway, so we're on Louise's way to Sophie. She feels like somebody's watching her or following her. Did you feel that way? I felt that way. So she gets to Sophie's house and she's talking to Sophie. And eventually she asks her, hey, did you get this friend request from Maria also? But Sophie seems a little like stunned or shocked or like what. And basically Sophie told her, don't put any more into it. I have a date. See you later. I said a drink. Okay, goodbye. Chapter 5, in 2016, we go back to the current times. And I don't know. Not too much is really going on. I don't feel like. Chapter 6, we go back in the past. She basically the author shows us how Louise and Maria were becoming friends and how it seemed like Sophie didn't really like that. What did you guys get from that? Did you feel that as well? Chapter 7, I'd like to know who's talking, because I'm not sure. I haven't figured out who's talking. I don't know if it's Maria or somebody else, you know, somebody that's watching her. Is somebody playing a prank? Is Maria still alive? And she's just playing a prank? How did that happen though if Maria supposedly drowned? But did she set up her death? Or is somebody else messing with her? So she gets, Louise, in the current times in chapter 8, Louise gets another message on Facebook. She gets, "Run as fast as you like, Louise. You'll never escape from me. Every wound leaves a scar, just ask Esther Harcourt." So is it Esther? But Esther denies, you know, I don't knowing anything about anything. So is it somebody else that messed with Esther too? And then chapter 9, we're going back in the past again and learning about how Louise feels about Sophie, how Sophie feels about her, and at this party, and I don't know. Basically, Maria wants to know why Louise is being such a bitch. Why? Aren't we friends? What about this? What about that? And it seems like Sophie's really jealous of her being of Louise being friends with Maria. Did you guys get that too? I kind of feel like that, but I don't know. Chapter 10, we end off pretty much in current times in 2016, and talk about she goes to the school. She had ran into Maria's brother. Maria's brother basically says, you know, because he's married now, has a kid, and he's like, you know, it's nobody's fault. It's just the way it was. It's what happened. You know, it is what it is. And then in chapter 11 again, we are ending with somebody talking, but I can't figure out who that is. Do you guys know who that was? In chapter 7 and chapter 11, who's talking? Is it the person that's stalking her? Is it Maria? Is it somebody else? Who is it? But so far, chapters 1 through 11, I really like it so far. I'm in the book. I wanted to keep reading, but I wanted to make this clip for you guys before I keep reading. So it's kind of fresh in my head kind of thing. What do I think about it? You know, what do you guys think about Louise? What do you guys think about Sophie? And what do you guys think about Maria? I'm just curious of what you guys think from chapters 1 through 11. Alright, so I think today I am going to read chapters 12 to 20. Alright, so I will see you in the next clip when we do 12 to 20. Alright, I'll see you then. Bye.
Hey, book friends. Welcome back. We are doing chapters 12 to 20. Let's discuss friend requests. This book, some of these chapters I was a little bored in. So I'm not going to go chapter by chapter because I was a little bored in some of the chapters. So let's just highlight it as much as we can. If you guys picked up anything, you guys let me know what you picked up. Alright, so we find out in these chapters, in 12 to 20, that Louise tells Polly, her only friend it seems like, or her only person that she could actually trust now after her divorce. So she trusts Polly and tells Polly what's going on. I did think it was kind of weird that Polly wanted Louise to talk to her daughter Phoebe about being bullied or whatever. I just thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, you're her mom. I don't know. And Louise is obviously getting messages from Maria, whoever it is. She's gotten several. And most of the thing that stuck out to me in those chapters, most of the story, I should say, not the thing. Most of the story that stuck out to me in those chapters was that Louise goes to the reunion. That's what mostly stuck out. And Esther shows up at the reunion, and Louise hits it off with Pete, which is actually Sophie's date. And Louise had seen Tim, which is Maria's brother, talking to somebody, but she couldn't figure out who it was. And what is it that these four friends did to Maria? What did they do to her that's so horrible? I'm serious. I mean, do they have... If she really is dead, did they play a part in it and then lied about it? I mean, because that's what they're saying, because Matt knows that Louise is getting these messages because Sophie told him. So you got Louise, Sophie, Matt, and Sam that all know and supposedly lied about what happened to Maria. What in the world did these four people do to Maria? We do know from going back in the past in these chapters that they played pranks. They were pretty mean. They were pretty harsh in school to her. They were pretty mean to Maria. So I'm just curious of what's going on. And the way that these chapters ended was strange. So chapter 20 ended kind of weird if you ask me, because Pete went back to stay with Louise. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. And then a body was discovered by dog walkers in the woods behind the school. But the name isn't being released. So somebody was murdered at the school the night of the reunion. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little like, what? So we are going to read chapter 21 to 30, and I will come back and talk to you guys about it. What do you think's going on? What do you guys feel right now? I mean, are you guys confused? Do you guys have any ideas? I mean, I have an idea. Like, is it Sophie? I mean, is it Sophie playing these pranks, or is Maria actually still alive? They thought they did something to her or played a part, but they actually didn't. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going on right now? Leave me in the comments, you know, your thoughts and opinions on this book. How do you feel about the book halfway through? And I will see you after I read chapters 21 through 30. I will see you soon. Alright, so 21 through 30. So in chapter 21, we're going back to 1989. We find out that Louise put ecstasy in Maria's drink. Louise wasn't a very nice person, was she? I mean, she did try to make amends, Okay. Did she really try to make amends with Maria, or would she have put that stuff in her drink no matter what? Not a very good friend. In chapter 22, do we know who's talking? I think it's Tim. What do you guys think? Do you think it's Tim? I don't know if it's Tim or not. Chapter 23, we are in current times. Obviously, Louise is going back and forth talking to the detective because she's concerned with what she's done in the past, if it's going to come up. Because as we know, who was killed at the school reunion? Sophie. Sophie was killed, so obviously Sophie isn't behind the friend request. Somebody didn't like her either. So who do you think it is? Do we think it's Matt because she wouldn't, you know, Sophie wouldn't go out with him? Who do we think it is? I don't know who it is. I honestly don't know. Or is it Maria? Is she really still alive and she was on ecstasy but she never went over the cliff? You know what I'm saying? So, and in these chapters we also find that Louise goes and talks to Pete to compare stories, you know, that he wasn't with Louise, blah 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 kind of thing. And also around chapter 24, I think it is, in current times, obviously Louise is talking to Polly and tells Polly her big secret, and Polly is not happy about that at all. She's like, what the hell, Louise? And especially since Polly is going through stuff with her own daughter. So she's not very happy with Louise right now. Chapter 25
Louise gets a message again from Maria saying, "Oh dear, poor Sophie. Wouldn't want something like that to happen to you, would we?" So who is this? I'm so curious. And of course, she's talking to the police again. Basically, the cops are trying to figure out what's going on. Chapter 27. It says he may have saved her, but that doesn't mean he has to keep, or chapter 27. That doesn't mean he has to keep on saving her. So I'm not sure who's talking in these chapters. Chapter 28. Louise thinks Henry was kidnapped, but here he was talking to some lady. So we know it's a lady now. As far as chapter 20, what is it? What I say? Chapter 28. We know it's a lady now that was talking to Henry. Now, they did say that the person that coordinated the family reunion was somebody named Naomi Straw. Who is that? Doesn't ring a bell. Did Maria change her name? Right? But she also, Louise gets a Facebook message again saying, "Henry seems like a nice boy. I hope you watch him carefully. It's so easily done, isn't it? You turn your back for a second and they're gone." Kind of what they did to Maria. Chapter 29. Henry's staying with his dad. And she's talking to the detective again about Mr. Jenkins, the teacher that worked there before and now. Chapter 30, she runs into Louise. Chapter 30, Louise runs into Tim, and her and Tim are having this conversation back and forth. Like, he's like, "Why are you over here? That's such a horrible thing that happened to Sophie." And what do we end off on? We end off that Nathan Drinkwater was the boy that was really mean and stalking Maria before she moved. And he's the only friend on this friend request Facebook page that Maria has. But I'm going to go ahead and eat, and I'm going to read chapters 31 through 40. I'm going to finish this book is what I'm going to do, because I want to know how it ends. So I will see you when I finish. Okay, book friends. Wow, what a book. This was a pretty good book. 31 to 41. I thought there was 40, but there was 41. So chapter 31, Louise goes to talk to Pete. Chapter 32, she is talking to Sam about Sophie, about Sophie's body. And then chapter 33, Louise isn't feeling like her flat is safe anymore. Esther has called, but she's avoiding Esther. And then Esther wants to know why, she hasn't shared with the police certain things. But it does seem like Louise and Esther have made amends, sort of, kind of thing. Chapter 34, I finally feel like I know who's talking. I believe it's Louise, but was it Louise the whole time, or was it somebody else? Was it alternate? Let's see, chapter 35. Who picks up Henry from school? He says it's his grandma. The school says it's grandma, but he hasn't been in touch with his grandmas. Either one. So who was it? So Louise gets this Facebook message that says, "Hey, I have your kid," sends her the address. "Come along," that kind of thing. Well, Sam drives her there. But she does go into the house, or this cottage cabin by herself. Who does she find out that it is? I know. Were you guys shocked? I was a little shocked. Maybe you guys weren't. Maybe you picked up on that some time ago, that it was Marie's mom that created the Facebook page. Why? Because even though her mom, Bridget, knew that her daughter committed suicide is what she thought, but she still felt like Louise was responsible because Louise wasn't a good friend, which Louise wasn't a good friend at all. To slip something in your friend's drink, what the hell is wrong with you, right? This is why, yeah, you never leave your drinks unattended. I don't care how old you are. Alright, and then in chapter 36, Bridget's a little confused because Tim comes home and says, Mom, what are you doing? And her mom's like, well, Nathan told me, you know, that this happened yet. And he's like, Mom, Nathan's been dead for years. Which is, Nathan was the boy that tried to take advantage of Maria years ago. I think it's at the end of chapter 36 or the beginning of chapter 37. Sam slips in the car bringing Louise home and brings up Nathan. Well, Louise starts to put two and two together and realizes, how did you know about Nathan, and yada yada yada, and puts more two and two together. Well, she realizes that Sam has something to do with things. That Sam is the problem. Chapter 39 is when Sam starts to admit to Louise what he has done to Maria. And I don't remember if it was chapter 39 also or before that he admitted what he did to Sophie. I think it's kind of like he admits at the same time what he did to Maria and what he did to Sophie. So Louise is sitting there going, are you kidding me? How did I not see this? How did I never put two and two together? Well, she's trying to talk Sam into leaving because now Sam wants to kill Louise. Or he tries to kill Louise. He tries to strangle Louise. And she kicks over a chair. So what do y'all think of all of this? What do you think of Bridget and why she did what she did? What did you guys think when you found out it was Bridget impersonating her daughter? And then what did you guys think about the whole Nathan drink water thing? And did you guys have any idea that Sam was behind it? That he had... I didn't know Sam was behind it at all. I thought for sure that it was Tim. And then of course in chapter 41, Polly is still Louise's best friend, or, you know, after 13 years or a decade or whatever. She has been her friend. They've called the police, that kind of thing. But Sam is still out there. So it just makes me wonder if the author is going to create a second book off of these characters or not. Like, is Sam going to be out there hunting for Louise still because of what she had said to him? Is he going, or is he still going to come after Louise? Is he ever going to come after Henry? Because he says he'll never hurt Henry. But will he? And what about Henry's baby sister with Catherine? Will he ever hurt her? Will he ever come after her? Or will Henry ever come after anyone? Because his father is the way that his father is? I mean, the author could continue this story. The way it ended was good. I didn't have a problem with the ending at all. Because usually, as you guys may or may not know, I really, really hate endings. But this was a halfway decent ending. It was pretty good. I would have to say this book is 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I liked it. What did you guys think? How did you guys feel about the book? What star rating would you guys give it? I'm trying to think why it wasn't a 5-star for me. I might change my... I don't know. I just finished the book, so now I feel like I have to digest it. And maybe by the time I talk to you guys, I will have digested it by then. And maybe I will change my 4-star. And what book would you like to do a buddy video read next? Or a buddy virtual read? What would you like to do next? Give me some recommendations below. That'd be great. But I guess I will talk to you guys later or see you next time on Books I Read. Bye!